Have you ever wondered why France, the very birthplace of liberté, fraternité, has had such a complex and often tragic relationship with its Jewish communities? It's a story that stretches back over to millennia, filled with moments of acceptance and prosperity, but also punctuated by periods of intense persecution. Let's delve into this history to understand the recurring cycles of anti-Semitism in France. The story begins in the Roman era. Jewish people first settled in what we now call France, then known as Gaul, as early as the 1st century. For several centuries, they lived relatively peacefully, integrated into society as merchants and artisans. But things began to change with the rise of Christianity as the dominant religion. Religious leaders started to view Jews not just as followers of a different faith, but as the people who rejected Jesus. This theological disagreement laid the groundwork for centuries of conflict. By the early Middle Ages, this religious animosity had solidified. Rulers in the church imposed special taxes on Jews and restricted the jobs they could hold, barred from owning land or joining most guilds. Many were pushed into finance and money. This was a crucial service, but it also created a dangerous stereotype: the Jewish moneylender, seen as an exploiter of Christians. This caricature would prove tragically persistent. The First Crusade in 1096 marked a brutal turning point. As crusaders marched to the Holy Land, they unleashed horrific violence on Jewish communities along the way, including in France. Entire communities in places like Rouen were massacred. This was a clear sign that religious fervor could easily spill over into deadly violence against a convenient scapegoat. Throughout the High Middle Ages, this pattern continued. French kings, like Philip Augustus in 1182, would expel the entire Jewish population, seize their property and wealth to fill the royal treasury, and then, a few years later, invite them back when their economic skills were needed again. This created a deeply unstable existence. They were tolerated for their economic utility but never truly accepted as equals. The infamous blood libel myth, the false accusation that Jews used the blood of Christian children for rituals, also took root in France, leading to mob violence and official persecution. The Black Death in the mid-14th century brought another wave of terror. In a pre-scientific world desperate for an explanation for the devastating plague, people looked for someone to blame. Jews were accused of poisoning wells, and despite the Pope himself declaring their innocence, thousands were burned alive across France. Following these massacres, France expelled its Jews for the final time in 1394. For nearly 400 years, there was no officially recognized Jewish community in the country. Everything seemed to change with the French Revolution in 1789. The Declaration of the Rights of Man and of the Citizen proclaimed that all men were born free and equal in rights. In 1791, France became the first country in Europe to grant Jews full citizenship. It was a revolutionary moment. For the first time, they were to be seen not as Jews, but as French citizens of the Jewish faith. Many embraced this new identity, assimilating into French society and achieving great success in politics, arts, and science. Napoleon even formalized the relationship between the Jewish community and the state, further solidifying their place in the nation. It seemed like the dark days were finally over, but the 19th century proved that old prejudices die hard. As France grappled with modernization, industrialization, and political instability, new forms of anti-Semitism emerged. This wasn't just about religion anymore. It was about race and nationalism. Thinkers like Edouard Drumont published hugely popular books like La France Huibée or Jewish France in 1886, which claimed that Jews were a biologically distinct and inferior race, incapable of being truly French. He argued they were secretly conspiring to dominate the country through finance and media. This modern, racial anti-Semitism was potent and poisonous. It combined traditional Christian anti-Judaism with new pseudoscientific theories of race and a growing sense of national anxiety. The Dreyfus Affair, became the ultimate symbol of this new hatred. In 1894, Alfred Dreyfus, a Jewish army captain, was falsely convicted of treason. The evidence against him was flimsy and forged, but for a large segment of French society, the fact that he was Jewish was proof enough of his guilt. The case tore France apart. On one side were the Dreyfusards, who fought for justice and the Republican ideals of equality. On the other were the anti-Dreyfusards, who spewed anti-Semitic venom, insisting a Jew could never be a loyal Frenchman. Even after Dreyfus was eventually exonerated, the affair exposed the deep, ugly vein of anti-Semitism running through French society, even at the highest levels of the military and government. This brings us to the darkest chapter, World War II. When Nazi Germany defeated and occupied France in the collaborationist Vichy regime, led by Marshal Pétain, didn't need much encouragement to enact anti-Semitic policies. In fact, the Vichy government passed its own anti-Jewish laws even before the Nazis demanded it. They stripped Jews of their citizenship, confiscated their property, and barred them from public life. The French police actively participated in rounding up Jews, not just foreign refugees, but French citizens, and handing them over to the Nazis to be deported to death camps. Around 76,000 Jews from France were murdered in the Holocaust, a quarter of the country's Jewish population. The active collaboration of the French state in this genocide left a deep and lasting trauma. After the war, France struggled to confront its role in the Holocaust. For decades, the official narrative was that the true France was the resistance, and Vichy was just a German-imposed aberration. It wasn't until 1995 that a French president, Jacques Chirac, officially acknowledged the state's responsibility in the persecution and deportation of Jews. The post-war period also saw the arrival of a large new Jewish population from North Africa, the Sephardic Jews, who were displaced as countries like Algeria, Morocco, and Tunisia gained independence. They revitalized the community, but also brought new cultural dynamics. So, why does this matter today? Well, anti-Semitism in France hasn't disappeared. In recent decades, it has taken on a new form, often cloaked in anti-Zionism, the opposition to the State of Israel. While criticism of Israeli government policy is legitimate, this new discourse sometimes uses old anti-Semitic tropes, blaming all Jews for the actions of Israel or questioning their loyalty to France. This is further complicated by tensions stemming from social and economic issues within some immigrant communities. We've seen a disturbing rise in anti-Semitic incidents, from vandalism of synagogues and cemeteries to violent, and sometimes fatal, attacks on Jewish individuals. The story of Jews in France is a microcosm of the Jewish experience in Europe. It's a pendulum swinging between emancipation and exclusion, tolerance and terror. The reasons are layered. Ancient religious hostility morphed into modern racial and nationalist hatred, fueled by economic anxieties and the need for a political scapegoat. The French state has, at times, been a protector, offering citizenship and equality, and at other times, a persecutor, stripping those very rights away. Understanding this long and painful history is crucial, not just for remembering the past, but for recognizing how these dangerous patterns can re-emerge. It's a reminder that the fight for liberté, égalité, fraternité is never truly finished. It's a battle that must be fought and won by every generation. Thanks for watching. If you found this video insightful, please give it a like and subscribe for more deep dives into history. See you next time.